Good morning. This is Advanced LibGuides. It is a follow-up to last week's session on LibGuides basics. We've got a lot to cover today, so we will get going here. I think I recognize most of you, but if you don't know me, I am Liz Metz. I am a librarian in Fort Wayne, and I am lead of the systems team. Most of you have probably talked to me in a ticket at some point or another. Um, I am leading the session today. Darla is my co-host today. She will be kind of following chat. So if you have any questions while we go along, go ahead and throw them in chat so that we see them. And I will try to cover them as we go, but Darla will bring my attention to them if we need to. In Advanced LibGuides today, we're going to be talking about some maintenance tasks, some things that you can do to update your guides and change statuses and things like that. And then we are going to be getting into some coding. With the coding today, my expectation is not that you learn how to code something from scratch. My goal today is that you learn what code looks like, what you need to pay attention to in code, so that when you copy and paste code from places, you know what you can change and tweak in that code to make it your own. Okay? It takes a lot of time to learn coding from scratch. Okay? I don't expect that from you today. So there's going to be some times where I'm going through code and you're going to have no idea what's going on. I'm going to be pointing out things in that code that I want you to understand. Okay? The rest of it, I'm not worried if you understand what I'm plugging in or not. Just to kind of give you guys an idea when we get to it. The first thing we want to talk about, though, is some of the editing and maintenance that you're going to be doing in LibGuides. We're going to be looking at renaming guides, changing your status, changing URLs, and creating redirects, adding editors to your guides, reordering your pages, and changing navigation and reordering boxes. So I'm going to hop over to my example guide. If you were in my sessions last week, you've already seen this guide because it's where we did some of our playing with boxes and looking on how to add things. The first thing we're going to talk about is actually renaming your guide because it's not very clear when you're on the page here what you're doing. But there's the title of your guide up here has a dotted line underneath it. And if you click on that, you are able to change the name of your guide. And then you just click the checkbox to apply your changes. You can also add a description to your guide, and that will display at the top of your guide on the live version of your guide. Okay, same thing, you click the checkbox. These two boxes do not accept code very well. Do not try to plug code into these boxes. Okay. I'm going to go back and forth. The guide status, that is, whoops, yep, up here in the corner. You can see mine is set to private right now, but if you click on the drop down, you can say change status and share, and you can change the status of your guide with the drop down box here. It does tell you what each of these statuses mean down here under the help content, and as well, it shows you the sharing settings as well, so that you know what you're choosing on each of these up here. Okay. Unpublished means that you can't see the public side at all. You are just seeing the edit side. Published means that it's visible to everyone. Okay. And private means that it's only visible to people who have the address for the guide. Okay. The next thing is changing your URLs and creating redirects. We looked at changing URLs very briefly last week. You just click the edit button on the URL and you can change what it is. Be careful about changing this after you have published your guide because you can break links that people have already used to get to your guide. Okay. You can also edit the page URL for every single page you are on. So you can see I have already added this URL. So my page has a friendly URL that looks nice. However, on my Advanced LibGuides page, I have not edited that URL and it still has all the numbers and confusion up there. So I would need to edit that one as well. to give it a friendly URL. You do have to edit each page so that your entire guide has a friendly URL. There it goes. Okay. Adding editors to your guide. When you create a guide, you can edit it and any system admins can edit it. However, if you want other people to work on your guide who are not admin users, you do need to add them as editors. And you can do that up here under settings, guide editors. Okay, you can see I added Cassandra last on Monday. And today, let's see, let's add Joss. I'm sorry, is it Joss or Joss? Jossie? Say your name for me.
Josie.
Josie, thank you. I've heard it multiple times and I'm miserable at names. Thank you, Josie.
It's okay.
All right, Josie, there we go. Now Josie is added to my guide. Save it. And this would actually show up on your guides now and you would be able to come in and edit it. Okay. So you would be able to edit this guide. Okay. Reordering your pages. And actually, any content on your guide, you can come up to page settings, reorder pages, boxes, and content items. When you reorder pages, you get this little pop-up menu. Okay, you can expand it to make it a little bigger to see things better, and you just drag things around to where you want them to be. Okay. This widget, this reordering pages widget does have a little bit of confusion sometimes. It gets bogged down when you're using it, when you have a lot of pages. So if you start noticing that your pages aren't going where you want them to go, actually that one just completely disappeared. I'm not sure what happened there. You can save the changes that you've made so far and then come back in and edit it again to make more changes. Okay. Sometimes I will drag something close to where I want it to be, save, and then come back in and actually put it where I want it to go. Also in page settings, you can move boxes around. Okay, so I can move that to the top column or wherever I want it to be. I can also move it to other pages. And you would just save your changes. And then if you say content items, that means you're moving content around on your page in between different boxes. Changing your navigation happens up at the top. And give me just a second. I'm going to go to my home page so that you can see this a little better. When I come up and go to the little picture icon, it's a little landscape. You can see the mountain and the sun, and click on it. I can change my guide navigation layout. And just like we talked about last week, you are going to use the two layouts to start with library guides. Okay, there's the tab layout and the side navigation layout. So if I change to side nav and hit save, it's going to move things around for me. When you change your layout, come on, it's loading. When you change your layout, it does cause your boxes to move around. So anytime you change your layout, you may have to come in and edit where your boxes are. So you can see now my profile is all the way down here at the bottom. And I may not want it there. So I can come back in and say I want to move my boxes. Maybe I want my profile in underneath my navigation. That's what column 0 is. And then I want my content boxes side by side. Okay. I apologize, guys. LibGuides is a little bit slow this morning. It is thinking about it. There we go. And you can see I've moved things around. When you are inside navigation layout, you have technically 5 columns. Okay. Column 0 is this one over here underneath your navigation. You can add content over there. Column 1 is a full width column up at the top of the page. Columns 2 and 3 are half columns that are side by side. And then column 4 is another full width column down at the bottom. Okay, so you can move your content around in those columns. And then again, like I said, when you change your navigation, just so you can see, if I change back to my tab layout, it's going to tell me that I have content, I have boxes and columns that are not visible once it actually figures out what it's doing. There we go. Okay. It's because I don't have all of those columns in this layout. And you can see that I've got two boxes down here that are not visible right now. So I do need to come back up to my move boxes and put things back where they need to be. Sorry, I want that in one, put that in two. Oh, there we go. The red columns are ones that are not visible. And I'll save, and you'll be able to see all of my content again. Okay. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do decide to change your layout. You need to check all of your pages and make sure your boxes are visible and where you want them to be. Okay. All right. LibGuides actually has a whole bunch of built-in features that you can use. They've got the widgets, which we talked about a little bit last week. Remember, we have all those widgets that you can actually use and reuse. Font Awesome is built in. That's how we get the nice little icons that you may have noticed on your homepage. Bootstrap is the basic format of LibGuides. Okay, it's what builds the columns and the boxes and all of that. And that has a whole bunch of code built into it that you can use. And then it's actually really easy to add your own code as well. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of code that you can just copy and paste and then just make little tweaks to once you know what to look for in that code. Okay, come on. Oops. We're going to talk about code real quick, just kind of give you an idea of the different types of code that LibGuides uses. HTML is hypertext markup language, okay, and that is the basic website code. That's what gives you your paragraphs and your bold and all of that. That's HTML. CSS is what's called a cascading style sheet, and this is what creates the styles on your page. So instead of going into every paragraph and making them red, you can go up to the top and say in your CSS that you want your text to be red on the entire page, and then your text will be red. So that's what the style sheet does. And then there are scripts in JavaScript, and this is code that causes things to happen. A lot of your widgets and embeds will use JavaScript. Okay. We use code because it gives you more direct control of your content, and you're able to add more advanced features than you can with the normal editor. Okay, so there's all sorts of different things that you can add in that you don't get just by using the rich text HTML box. We're going to talk about tags real quick. Tags are the basic building blocks of your HTML code. They surround your text to create the page. Opened tags need to be closed because it can break other parts of the page. Real quick, we're going to come back over here, and on my advanced guides page, once it loads, come on, there we go. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at the HTML. And you can see all of these pieces with carrots. That's what this little triangle is called, is a carrot, are what create my code. So this specific piece of code makes this part a header. H1 is the name of my page. And you'll notice that I have the start of H1 here, and then I have the end of it over here. Anytime you open a tag, you need to close it. If this wasn't here, everything on the rest of my page would be the H1 heading because I didn't close it. Okay. So anytime you have something that opens, so for example, here's a span that opens, and then that span closes. There's a second span in here that sets the font, and it closes down here. Okay. So that's what I mean by opening and closing tags. And that's important, especially if you're copying and pasting code and you don't want to accidentally delete the closing tag when you're editing things because it'll mess up the rest of the page. And that again is part of why we use the media/widget asset when we add code, because if we do accidentally break the page, we can go back over to our assets list and fix it there. Okay. There are different ways to add code to pages. Okay, we've talked about the media and widget assets. There's also the rich text HTML asset, which is how my code is added here. If I go into edit, you can see that I've got my visual here and the source code here, and this is where all of the code is. Okay. There's the guide, custom CSS and JavaScript, and there are external files. And we're going to talk about each of these one by one here. Okay. Media widget assets, again, are the best method because they're easy to delete or edit on the assets page if you accidentally break something. And again, real quick, we talked about this last week, but your assets page, if you come to on the main LibGuides page, if you go to content and assets, you can see all of your media and widget assets. Come on. There we go. This list takes forever to populate on my screen because I see everybody's assets, but you can filter it up here at the top to the media asset and to your assets if you need to, and filter your list. We're not going to wait for that to load today because it does take a little bit on my screen. Okay. They're easy to delete. You get to use straight code, and they're really easy to reuse. If you remember last week, I showed you guys on the staff page. Come on. I apologize, guys. My internet appears to be a little bit slow today. Okay, while that's loading, let's continue over here. There are pre-built media widget assets for many of our search boxes, which is what I'm trying to show you now. Okay, once that loads, I will show it to you. All right, let's come back to my spread, my presentation. Rich text HTML assets are what you use a lot of, and they're a lot easier for more basic code or what's called inline CSS. Okay, they have two views, and the first one, it's actually they legitimately call it WYSIWYG. Okay, it's what you see is what you get, and then the source code. Okay, so um, there it goes. Here are your search widgets, guys. Underneath database and search widgets, there's search widgets page, and you just copy and paste the name of each of the search widgets and you can reuse them. There's actually instructions right up here at the top on how to do that. So you can use the discover search. You can use the any of the EBSCO searches. Those are there as well. There's some subject focused ones. So here's all of the business databases and you can do that. Okay. When I come in here to edit, again, this first screen is what the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So you're seeing exactly what it's going to look like on your page. And then this next one is the source. Okay. And real quick, guys, if you notice, my fonts and everything on this particular portion are a little bit odd. Okay, and that is because I actually copied and pasted this from a Microsoft Word document. And when I look at that code, there is a ton of stuff in here. Microsoft Word has a ton of markup that adds a lot of extra junk code to your things. And when you do copy and paste something from Word, what you can do is, instead of immediately saving, select everything, and there is a remove formatting button up here. Okay. And if I save now, you can see that now this is actually matching the fonts and everything from my page. And I can go back in, and if I look at the source now, it is a whole lot cleaner. All of that extra stuff is gone. Okay. This is also where you can add some of your own code. So for example, when I removed formatting, I lost the bold on my skill level. Okay. So if I come in and edit my code for skill level, I can say that I want this portion bolded. Okay. So that is an opening tag for bolding. And here is a closing for bolding. Remember, every time you open, you have to close. If I don't close this, everything on the rest of my page is bolded. Okay. And save and close. And now I've got the bold there. Okay. And then, of course, you could always come in to the regular editor and say, okay, I need my finish sized to be bolded as well. There we go. And if I come look at my source now, you can see it did the exact same thing. It added the strong and enclosed the strong, which is what I did up here. And now those are both bolded. Okay. All right. The guide, custom CSS and JavaScript. This is something that affects the entire guide. So there's a couple of different places that you can add CSS. You can add it to your box. You can add it to the guide CSS, okay, which is up here. All right, everything will be in here. Okay, and then there's an external, which is something we'll talk about here in just a minute. So just as an example, maybe I want all of my text on the page to be red. Okay, so for CSS, it always starts with the opening style and the closing style. And then in the middle, I can say for my paragraphs, I open and I close. Okay, just like HTML tags, CSS has to open and close. Color, red. Okay. And it's helpful to go ahead and open and close and then work in the middle. And if I hit save now, are you going to do it? It's reloading. I apologize, guys. This is going extremely slow today. I do not know what's going on. You can see all of a sudden all of the text on my page is red, as long as it's in a paragraph. You'll notice the text down here didn't change because it's actually a list. It's not a paragraph. Okay, so that's what CSS does. I'm going to remove that CSS here. And again, if you add it here, it's going to be your entire guide. You can also come into the HTML and add it here. Okay, so that's there as well. The other type of CSS is called inline CSS. And that is when I come into my tag and add it straight there. Okay. So that's like that. That's how that works. Okay.
Liz, I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, so when between the two, the HTML and the one you were just messing with, where you made it red, is that the same language? Because when you typed in those different, it looked slightly different to me.
Yeah. So it was a combination of things. So there's the HTML. Okay. And what this is here is inline CSS. So I took my CSS and I plugged it right directly into my HTML. Okay. The other part I did was straight CSS, but when you add CSS to the page, it has to have an HTML tag around it to tell the page what it is. So I have the HTML tag here that tells me I'm working on my style. And then in the middle of that is my CSS.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
So
Hmm.
this here is CSS. And I have some pages at the end that I'm going to share with you that have some great resources for HTML and CSS. Okay. Especially if you want to learn more about it. What I'm doing now, I'm showing you these things more so you can get an idea of what each of them look like so that when you start manipulating code that you copy and paste, you have a better idea of what you're doing. Okay. And you'll notice that I have this color red looks exactly the same in both places. Okay. Come on. I don't want to save those. Okay. It feels like a lot right now, but I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what these things look like. Okay. And that's also why we're recording this session so you can go back and look through all of it. And also, I recommend looking at Monday's session because as I start going, my brain goes all over the place, and I show you guys different things each time. So, and then there's my resources. Okay. So, the neat thing about this is there's a lot of code that's built in that you can copy and paste places. So what I'm going to do now is I'm on my staff website, okay, Ivy Tech staff resources. I am going to scroll down and click on the orange guide to guides button. And what we have here is a page for built-in features and a page for HTML and CSS. First off, on this HTML and CSS page, I want to show you everything we just talked about code and places to use it, is on this page. Okay, so it's a great place to go back and review what the HTML looks like, what a tag looks like, and different places to use it and what it looks like when you use it there. Okay, same thing for CSS. I break down the inline, the internal, and the external. Okay, and what I did not show you is what the external CSS looks like. So you can see a sample CSS file here. I'm going to open it. And you can see this is that other code that we were looking at before, where I have the brackets and then all of these different labels. This is actually the code that styles the search boxes on our site. So the Discover search, the Ivy Cat search, and all of that. So there's that. Okay, that's what an external CSS looks like. And you're not going to use this usually. This is more of an admin thing, but I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what a whole style sheet looks like in CSS. Okay. And then now I'm going to go, oh, I'm sorry, right here at the top of this page is a link to W3 School's HTML tutorial and CSS tutorial. Those are great places to look at if you do want to learn more about coding and how to get started. Okay. The other thing that you'll come across are colors. Frequently in HTML and CSS, you use hex codes to identify colors because you can get more specific colors than you can by just using the color name. Okay, I used red earlier, but I could go find the CSS for that color and actually get the specific red that I want. Okay, so there's the basic red, but you can see as I go through, there are all sorts of different shades of different colors that I could get, and I can get those with the hex codes. Okay. Then you just use that in place of the color name. Let's come up and look at some of these built-in features. First off, we're going to look at Bootstrap. Oh, I'm sorry, built-in features. Bootstrap, there are links for Bootstrap and Font Awesome here that are helpful as you're going through. Okay. There are some things in Bootstrap that are built in that are some really fun things to play with. For example, a modal image, which is where you click on a button and an image pops up. Okay. All right. The code for this button looks like this. Okay. There's a lot there, but there are only certain things that you actually need to edit to make it work. So if I copy this code and I come back over to my guide where I'm playing with things, maybe I add a box down here and say I want to do a pop-up image. I can give my box a name and save it. And I'm going to add, and again, you can use media or widget, or you can use the rich text HTML. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use the HTML today because it's a little quicker to show you things. But I do recommend using media widget if you are working on things. Okay. I'm pasting in code. So I immediately want to click on my little source button to go to the code side of things and paste it in. Now, if I save it like this, I'm going to have that exact same button that I have here. But I want to make this button my own. Okay. I don't need to know all of the code, but I need to be able to find the pieces on this customization tab that I need to fix to make my own thing. First off is the name of the button, okay? This is really only necessary to change if you're having more than one on your page. Okay, each one has to have a different name or it's not going to work right. So in this case, I'm going to look for everywhere that it says example modal and fix and change that. Okay, and I've got them all listed here. I'm looking for data target. I'm looking for the div class. And I'm looking for the H5 class. Okay. So if I come in, here's the one that says data target, and I'm going to say this is my button. Okay. Here's that div one, and there's two spots in here I need to fix. And then here's that H1. Okay, so I've changed those four things. Okay, the next thing I want to change is what the text on the button is. I want the text to be my own thing. So I'm looking for where it says click here to see an awesome image. Um, my code is looking a little different, guys. It's actually right here. I'm not sure what changed there, but I'll fix that. This should say the click here to see my awesome image, okay? I clearly changed it and forgot to fix things. So, this is going to say my image button. Okay, that's the label for my button. That's what my button is going to say. And then as I come further down the page, the next thing I want is I'm getting all confused, guys. I apologize. Let me come back. Up here, there you can see my text. Click here to see an awesome image. This is my button text, okay? My button text. Down here is the next thing it's telling you to change the modal title, and that is the text at the top of the little pop-up window. Okay. And then the last thing you need to change is the image source and the alt text for that image. Okay. So if, for example, I want to add the guide to guides image there, I'm going to come grab the image link for that. And then in here, where I have the link for that image, I'm going to replace it with my new image. And I'm going to change the alt text to be appropriate for my image. Okay. And then save it. There's my button, and it's clickable, and there's my image, and there's the modal title. Okay. Sorry, guys, I got a little bit mixed up there. And this is, like I said, it's something you have to work on to be able to figure out where things are and take your time with. One tool that I like to use when I'm working with code is Notepad++. IT should install it for you if you ask for it, if you don't have it already. And that's because it's a lot easier to see the code when you're working in Notepad, because there's some different things that it lets you do. All right. That was a little more complicated of one, but you can see how we copied and pasted. Most of this code may not make a whole lot of sense, but when I look at the customization, I know what I need to look for in change. Okay. I'm not going to show you the accordion menu because while it's a really neat feature, LibGuides is actually doing a release, I think tomorrow, that makes it so your tabbed boxes can be accordion boxes without extra code. So you're not even going to need to worry about this code. But if you want to play with it, you can come in and look at the code for it and look at the customization for it and play with that code. Okay. And then the last code I want to show you real quick, this is another built-in one, are alert boxes. Okay, so this is an alert box. And when I come look at the code, this is the code for the alert box. And so I can copy and paste and come back over to my guide. And what I'm going to do is just edit this one and change the code. So instead of the button, I'm going to plug in my alert box. Okay, and this one's actually a lot easier to see the different pieces of. You can see I had opened my div, and then I closed my div. I identify my div here. Okay, a div is a container. So I identify here, this is what's telling it what colors and features to use. And then my text for the box is here. and I can save it, and there's the alert box. Now I can manipulate this alert box and change pieces of it. Okay. If I come back over, again, I have a customization tab. Okay. And on the about page, there's a link down here. There's a whole lot more you can do with alert boxes too, and it covers it on this page. But I come to the customization, and the first thing I can do is actually make this box dismissible. Okay. And the code's a little bit different because you have to actually add a close button to it. So instead of copying the original code, I'm going to copy this code instead and paste it in. Okay. It's a little bit different. There's an extra identifier here, and there's an extra button down here. Okay. And if I save it, I now have a close button over here. And I can do more. I can come into HTML, and the other thing I can change is the box color. Okay. And it's really easy by using these different alert types. So in my original code and in my code for the dismissible one, you can see it's labeled danger. Okay. Maybe I want this box to be blue. So I'm going to come over, and when I edit it, I'm going to change danger to alert. There we go. Save it. What are you doing? I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. I don't know why I said alert. I'm going to change it to primary. The slowest, oh, it's because it says alert right below it. This is the one I changed to the wrong thing. I'm changing it to primary. Okay. And then it's going to be, come on. There it goes. Now it's blue. I apologize for that, guys. My brain did a little bit of a spaz there because it says alert a whole bunch of places. I changed the word danger to primary, and I can change it again. I can say warning, and now it's yellow. Okay. And you can use each of these for that. It's highlighted here. Change the one that's highlighted. Don't be like me and change it to some random thing because it won't pull the right code. That piece of the code is what tells it what color it to be because of the CSS that's built into Bootstrap. Okay. So that is adding an alert box and changing it. Okay. The other one we're going to look at, and this one's a lot of fun. This is Font Awesome. There are a ton of icons you can use. LibGuides has Font Awesome 4 built into it. Okay, so anything that's on the Font Awesome 4 icons page, you can use. When you're using an icon, okay, you have the code for it, and you can actually copy this code from the Font Awesome page. Maybe I want to add a bathtub to my page. I want a bathtub icon. Okay. It's actually giving me the code right down here. But let's talk about the parts of that code real quick. I'm going to come back over. Okay. This opens my tag. Okay. The class for it is FA. That's telling it to use Font Awesome. And then the rest of my tag here is which icon to use and closing the tag. So this is for a paw icon. And then the next part of the code is accessibility. Most of them by default have the aria hidden equals true. And this hides the icon from screen readers so that screen readers don't read the icon. They just read the text of whatever you have next to it. Okay. You can use it to, if you need it to mean something to screen readers, you add extra code to it to make it accessible. Okay. And also, if you need the icon itself to be interactable, okay, so there's no extra text with it, you need to give it a label instead of making it hidden. Okay, so now when screen readers see this icon, they can see that it means library hours. So there's different things here that make it accessible. For today, I'm just going to copy the code. Okay, this is the default with the ARIA hidden. And come back over to my LibGuide. And then I'm pasting in code, so I'm going to my source tab and I'm pasting it in. It opens the tag, it identifies it, it has accessibility, and then it closes the tag. And if I save, I now have a bathtub on my page. Okay, but I can modify the bathtub. Okay, and there's different ways with CSS that you can edit it. Guys, if your icon ever disappears, if you edit in regular mode and you try to add or modify this box, it sometimes messes up your icon. So that's why it disappears. Anytime you have an icon in there, it's usually a good idea to go ahead and edit in the HTML mode. Okay. So if I want this icon to be big and want it to have a color, I need to add style to it. Okay, this is that CSS again. Again, this is inline CSS because it's in the middle of my HTML tag. I can do the same thing with internal CSS where I add it up to the top of the page. Or again, I have some code in the style sheet, the external CSS that modifies some of our icons. Okay. And there is a bunch of advanced customization that you can do with Font Awesome. But for this one, let's just do some inline and modify the size and the color. So if I come in here, I'm inside my opening tag. I'm going to add a style section. Open it and close it. And I'm going to say font size. Let's make it 45. And then color. Let's find a fun color to use. And we're just going to scroll to a random spot on the page. Let's pick something other than brown. Brown is kind of boring. Let's do this green color. Okay. I'm copying the 6 digits and the hashtag. Okay. And so I've got my color is this. Okay. And if you look more at CSS, you can see that I've got, that's a CSS thing and this is CSS. And they get closed with that little bracket. Okay. The semicolon. And if I save it now, my bathtub is big and bright green. And so there's all sorts of little things you can do with that. And I've got that on the Font Awesome page so that you can see what that code looks like. Okay. And I've even said bigger is the blue text and orange is my orange text. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to go through and make sure you've seen all of the resources I have for you today. There is the guide to guides. Again, that is on our staff page. That is where I'm getting all of these built-in information and the HTML information. There's also a lot on accessibility on this page. There's the Bootstrap documentation and the Font Awesome icons are both here as well. So you can look at that if you're interested. The links for W3 schools is on here as well, the HTML and the CSS tutorials. It's a great tutorial to get started with. And then SpringShare has a ton of tutorials and resources as well. In LibGuides, if you go up to the top and go to help and just click on um, the training recordings or the live webinars, you can see what's coming up and you can go in and look at the recorded sessions for LibGuides. And there are a lot of these that go into different, that's not what I clicked. Live sessions. Here we go. Training recordings. That focus on different things. Okay, so up here at the top, I can tell it that I want LibGuides and maybe I want something about customizing my guide or something about building something for my guide or advancing my skills. And these have different things that will talk about updating your guides and adding different things. Here's embedding videos. Okay. And there's all sorts of different code techniques in here as well. And there's a ton of different things that you can learn about building LibGuides. Adding alert boxes, adding captions to images, different things like that. So I do recommend that. And then the SpringShare Lounge, you get an account for that with your LibApps account, your LibGuides account. And it's a great place to see what other people are doing and also ask questions about what you're trying to do and see if people have recommendations. So I do really recommend the lounge as well. Hey, you guys have any questions? It's a lot. That's why I highly recommend going through and watching the session again, and creating a sandbox guide, especially if you come to the Create a LibGuide session next week with Sarah. We're going to give you a chance to create a sandbox guide and you can play with some of these techniques and add things like this. Okay. And experience some of it. And then we are doing a session the week after about building accessible LibGuides. And that is another very important session because like we talked about last week, accessibility is a requirement. So that is something you're responsible for. And you can sign up with the QR code or by going to the staff guide and going to the staff training section. Sarah.
So as we were talking about, or as Liz was talking about, doing things where within within the code, one thing that I would recommend just having done I had someone here who did more CSS and more code before. Thankfully, I don't have a lot of those guides still around because with accessibility, my suggestion is going to be if you do anything HTML or CSS on your guide, once you save it, go check the accessibility and make sure it's, especially as you're learning, because especially the big one is going to be headers. If your headers are not in the right order, it will throw the reader off. It will not like it because as the screen readers are reading, it will jump around and do funky things. So while there is a lot of versatility within the code and within coding itself, it is still something that as you're getting familiar with the hierarchies that the accessibility requires, take it slow, especially within those particular areas, because it will throw off the accessibility tools. They will be confused. Mm-hmm. And if you do too much without checking, then you're trying to figure out what did I do and where to find it. And it just creates more headache for you in the long run, having to go back and figure out which step was the thing that threw things off. So especially for those of us who have any sort of background, I didn't have a MySpace, but I know like a lot of us maybe have like some very hacker style coding. Within the accessibility structure, there are more requirements there than I think some of us who do have sort of that little bit of learned here and there. We can be more dangerous than helpful sometimes. So
a really good example, guys, this text that I copied and pasted from Microsoft Word has a heading 1 at the top of it. And that is going to really mess up a screen reader because this is a heading 2.
Mhm.
So technically what I should do when I'm fixing my code is come in and tell it this actually needs to be a heading 3.
And one of the nice things about like the wave tool that you can use is it will actually tell you, it will highlight and tell you which area it's struggling on. And usually will give you some type of indication as to what the problem may be. But again, the deeper we go into sort of that, like MySpace and Tumblr coding, it's the more likely that you may be like, where did I change? Where is the period that should not be there?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And the accessibility session is going to talk more about that. Okay. It's going to
which
talk to you about different tools that you can use and what you need to look for.
So my suggestion as we look towards next week with the building a guide, like we can go in and put stuff on there, even outside of the session, put stuff on there. And then when you have the accessibility training, when you go to that, pull that guide up and start running it through accessibility checkers and just see where the problems are, because that will help you kind of run up against some of the more consistent problems just based off of how we like to visualize things on a screen versus how the accessibility checkers will struggle. So
Yeah.
that's going to be my suggestion. Play on there, make it all however you want, and then MySpace it, and then go look at an accessibility checker, because I can guarantee accessibility checkers would have hated MySpace.
Yeah. Well, and there are different accessibility checkers out there too. I also really like Axe DevTools. I think that's a great one as well. So, but again, the accessibility session is going to talk about that. Any questions? Any other questions? We're about at the end of our time here.
One more thing. As we're building these guides, if you have any sort of interaction with your marketing team, especially the Ivy Tech specific ones, it is always wise to figure out what your branding permission, what expectations for branding there are, because I know Ivy Tech has branding expectations that have to do with how many colors, where the colors sit. And I don't know, I still haven't engaged with my marketing like type yet with some of the new guides I'm creating. So it'll be interesting when I start talking to her about the branding side, because that's also something that marketing will every once in a while look at stuff, and you want to make sure that you've at least kind of you understand the branding kits and tools that are there, so that you don't have to go back through and completely edit, you know, how you've done stuff that way. It's just good to have it in the back of your mind as you move forward.
Okay. The recording for this session and for Monday's session are going to be added to that same playlist for the last week's sessions. So I sent out the link to that at the beginning of this week, and you can use that same link to get to these sessions as well. Once I get them uploaded, they will be there. I think the notes are actually already on the page, so that's all set. And that is what I have for you today. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you, Liz. And Sarah.
Thanks.